Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy. On Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
Welcome to Inspired Conversations. I'm your host, Linda Joy, publisher of Aspire Magazine, the premier inspirational digital magazine for women since 2006. I am so grateful that you are circling up with me and my special guest today, because we're going to be talking about a really important subject, especially for women. I don't know about you, but I wasn't brought up to honor, respect, and trust the sensitivities, needs, and the possibilities of my body. And most of us weren't. In fact, we were often taught exactly the opposite, to manage, to restrict, and try to control our bodies. Well, guess what? Joining me today is body peace coach Nina Manolson. Nina, along with being a body peace coach, Nina also helps women end the war with food and body and finally feel truly at home in their body. And that's something we all deserve, my friends. And I'm talking really at home. You know, the kind of at home where you can run around naked and not worry about what is good enough or what others will think. The kind of good that allows you to feel ultimate freedom. Nina is also a certified psychology of eating teacher, nationally board certified holistic health coach, and certified body trust guide. She passionately helps her clients move past the deprivation diet paradigm and into a compassionate and powerful way of eating and living, which creates deep, long-lasting change in and with their bodies. I am so grateful to have you here today, Nina. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Linda. It's truly a delight, always a delight to talk to you, and especially a delight to bring this idea of body peace to more women.
Oh, well, this one really hits a chord for me because I struggled, especially in my 20s. I was always 99 pounds. That's where I was. And so I can relate to the restriction and everything. But honestly, you can't have a conversation with a friend or a family member without someone being negative about their body.
Yeah.
And sometimes, this has nothing to do with the outside standards of beauty, because I've had friends that you would consider like, oh my God, how could she say anything about her body? This is an internal thing. So let's talk about that, because you talk about women having a relationship with their body. What do you mean by a relationship with your body?
Yeah. You dove right into the relationship that so many women have with their body, which is that of criticism. Right. And even it's the way we relate to each other as women, get together. What diet are you on? Oh, you lost weight. Oh, I've gained weight. Oh, I'm not happy about my body. There's this conversation that surrounds our body, even amongst women that we feel are very supportive and loving towards us, that is grounded in this critical relationship with our body. Right? That doesn't even count the people who you think might be judging you, out in the world. This is just like with our nearest, dearest. We end up having this really critical relationship. So when I talk about a relationship that we're having with our body, it's like, really? Like, is that how you would talk to somebody that you care about? The way that you talk to your body? And it's so important to look at what is this relationship? And first, even before getting there, is that it is, just like you said, that it is a relationship. And when we think about it, it's the longest relationship we have in our whole life. We are born into this body. We will die in this body. So to really say, okay, this is my home. How do I want to care for my home? How do I want to tend to my home? How do I want to feel in my own home? And that is actually the relationship that we're having with our body and that we can impact.
And it's so powerful. And I was thinking here, like, family holidays, the conversation is like, oh my God, I shouldn't have another piece of lasagna. Like listening to all the conversations, we have a large family.
Mm-hmm.
We don't realize how much food and the relationship we have to our body is in our conversations. Like you said, we're so tough on ourselves, but it's almost like it's the language that we grow up hearing, maybe, because it's everywhere.
It is absolutely everywhere. And it's really important to acknowledge this is a language that we've been taught. And really what it is a language of diet culture. And I just want to break down that word a little bit because people are like, well, but I am on a diet, or my body needs to have a diet because of some physical thing. But when I talk about diet culture, what I mean is the decades of not enoughness that has been projected on women and their bodies, which is, you're not thin enough, you should try eating X, Y, and Z and avoiding A, B, and C. You are not thin enough, so you should try training for a triathlon. Your body doesn't conform to this or that, so you should do, this extreme detox, right? There's all these instructions, which I consider a management approach to our relationship with food and body. And that whole management approach, right? Just like if you think about a corporate culture, there's certain language we use, right? There's a culture, a corporate culture. Well, we have a diet culture. We have a culture that tells us that we should doubt everything we eat. We should not trust the hunger of our body. We should be always trying to be smaller than we are. We should always be trying to have a super flat tummy, right? There's all this language that comes from the diet culture that contributes and actually interrupts our authentic relationship with our body.
And it's happening, Nina, younger and younger.
It
Younger
is.
and younger. I mean, I'm blessed to have a large family. So I have nieces that range from, God, my daughter's age 36 all the way down to 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing it in the 8 and 12-year-olds, which I didn't see when the older ones, I didn't see that in them until 15, 16.
We're seeing it in very young, and I'm still seeing it in women in their 70s and 80s. Some of my clients come to me and they say, I just don't want to die hating my body. That is such a
Wow.
powerful statement. And when we talk about, I say, well, how many years have you been managing your body? How many years have you been trying to control your body? How many years have you been on some form of a diet or another? And they'll say 50 years, 60 years. And when
Wow.
we really look at all the energy and time spent on really fighting with their body, really fighting with their food, there's a tremendous sense of grief and anger that comes up. Like, really? Why have I spent so much time feeling bad about myself? And the thing that I deeply want women to know is that relationship does not have to be your actual relationship with your food and body. There is another way. There is body peace. There is food peace. There is a way to feel truly at home in your own skin. And it's not, just young and not just old. It's everybody in between. And there are two very pivotal times in the lifetime of a woman in terms of their relationship with their food and body. And one is moving into fertility, and the other is moving out of fertility. So both adolescence and premenopause, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, those stages when our bodies are changing dramatically are hard times in a woman's life to navigate. How do I feel at home with this changing body? How do I feel at home with its changing needs around food? How do I feel at home with my different kinds of hunger or my different desires? Right? So it's so important to realize that, as you bring up, it's happening young, it's also happening old and in between.
It's just so pervasive. We have it for decades. We've been having it coming at us in every form of media, and now you have social media, reality TV. You have all of that bombarding us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Nina, I'd love to talk about what other kind of relationships are possible with our body. I want to have that deeper conversation of, okay, we know what we've been feeling up to this point, but what's possible? I think a lot of us don't know something else is possible.
Yes.
So we'll be back in a moment. This is Linda Joy. I'm with Nina Manolson. You can learn more at ninamanolson.com. And we'll be back in a moment.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Inspiration for a woman's soul. Aspire Magazine, inspiring and supporting women on the path of self-discovery. Claim your free digital subscription today, which includes access to thousands of dollars of personal development bonus gifts from Team Inspiration partners. Claim your Aspire Magazine subscription today at subscribetoaspire.com.
Hey America, we need to have a little talk. We've got more food than we know what to do with in this country, yet 17 million kids in America are struggling with hunger. Makes no sense. Luckily, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks has volunteers gathering excess food and getting it to hungry kids. They're kind of like food angels. Hey, become a food angel yourself by supporting Feeding America in your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. We can't do it without your help. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Hi everyone, this is Shay Parker, the host of Best of the Best, which airs live right here on IOM Radio every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm super excited to bring you expert guest hosts, spiritual discussions, free psychic readings, and so much more. I can promise that you will not want to miss this one-of-a-kind, fun, yet touching, down-to-earth show. Join us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on OTR-FM. This is Shay Parker, and I can't wait to see you there.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Welcome back. You're listening to Inspired Conversations. I'm your host, Linda Joy, and with me is Nina Manolson, Body Peace Coach. And right before the break, Nina, we were talking about, the types of relationships women have, and it's, like you said, all ages. Let's talk about what other kind of relationships are possible for women, because I believe many of us don't know that something else is possible. It's almost like this is what we've accepted, this conversation with ourselves, this judgment, all of it.
Yes, so true. So the places that most women hang out, that we just believe that this is the way it is. There's a client that recently came to me. She said, I honestly didn't think there was a different way. The only way I knew how was to be judgmental and to feel ashamed of my body, right? So that's actually one relationship realm that women hang out with, is in body hate and body shame, right? There's something wrong with me. I'm not doing it right. I can't believe I failed again, right? So that's one realm. And then from there, often women move into this place that we just talked about, this body management. What am I going to do? I better get this into control. Let me start a new diet. What's the latest? Oh, keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, right? There was, the zone diet. We could go back, Weight Watchers, all these ways to manage, to control. Okay, I'm going to get on this thing. Like, now is my time. Now I'm going to get serious. And so women get into body management. But body management doesn't last, right? We know from doing it, it lasts maybe a month, maybe two, maybe even a year, but eventually we let it go because it's not fun. It feels too restrictive, right? In fact, there's statistics, 95% of diets, 90 don't work, right? So 95% of people who go on diets gain their weight back, if not more, within 2 to 5 years. So that body management model is not sustainable. And so what happens? Oh, I can't do this anymore. And then women are back into the shame and blame. So then that becomes the loop, right? Shame and blame, body management. Oh, that's not working. I'm failing. I'm back into shame and blame. That's what I call the diet cycle. So those are two very familiar relationships that we have with our food and body as women. What I am inviting women into are these other realms, which is what you're asking about. What are these other realms of relationship? And often people want to get to body love. Well, I just want to love my body. But that's kind of like, if you look on it on a spectrum and you look at, so we've got body hate and body shame, then we've got body management. Body love is kind of way far down the road. It's a little further down the path. There are other realms that we need to really develop. There's other relationships that we have to develop with ourselves before we get to a place of being like, yeah, this feels good to be in this body. I'm feeling it, right? So the most powerful place, the most powerful body realm is, and this is where a lot of healing happens, is body awareness. What's happening in my body? What do I feel? What do I need? What am I noticing? Right? Am I listening to my body? Am I tuning in? Do I know what hunger feels like? Do I know what satiety feels like? Fullness. Can I navigate discomfort in my body? Or am I always trying to like pop out and numb out with, whatever, brownies, ice cream, whatever it is, right? So how do I be in that relationship of true awareness, being with? So there's two more, but I'll pause there just to open the conversation back up.
There, as you were describing the realms you walk through, and you kind of described it as a scale. It's like, it's a journey. It's from getting from body movement and diet. You can't, as you said, just jump to body love. And as you were speaking, I'm a very visual person. It was like I was seeing this beautiful meandering path right through the forest, and then it opens up to a field, and now you may be coming into body peace. But it's almost like it's a journey you have to go on. You can't skip one step to get to body love.
That's totally, totally right on. In fact, one of my programs is called Body Peace Path, because that's what it is. It's a path. And that desire to just, I call it the flyover. Like, I'm just going to fly from body hate right to body love. And let me tell you, I tried. I really, really tried, like 10 years of Louise Hay. Like, I love my body. I love my body. I love my body. I was trying to bypass the whole relationship part. I was trying to bypass the whole discomfort part. I was trying to bypass the listening to my own needs part. Right? I'll just manage this and then I will love my body. When I get to this size, then I will love my body. That's conditional, right? That's the flyover. That's the bypass of an authentic, caring, respectful, compassionate, connected, attentive, considerate relationship with our body. That's the kind of relationship that really makes us go, this is real. This is something that's sustainable for the rest of my life. This isn't something I have to hang on to, like gripping with my fingernails to hang on to a diet to just I'll just make it one more week. That's not what's going to take us to being 100 and feeling good.
No, it's so true. I was just thinking back to part of my journey, Nina, and I remember it must have been 12 years ago seeing this quote. Well, it could have been more than that. Seeing this quote, and that just speaks to me for its simplicity. It's, if you don't take care of your body, where will your soul live? and it was anonymous. I wish I knew who it was. It hung on my refrigerator for the longest time as a reminder, because I just have a high energy. I don't know. That's just who I am. So I can easily go without eating. I had to say, but your body needs nourishment.
Right.
Even though your energy, your soul, you may feel your body needs nourishment. And that quote came into my life at that time. And I kept going, you forgot how to nourish. And I love that word, the body. Right? I nourish my soul. This is what I tell people when I'm coaching about other stuff. I say, listen, we have all aspects of ourselves, emotional, spiritual, physical, as well as others. But I always say I'm a superwoman when it comes to taking care of my emotional and spiritual health.
Mm-hmm.
But I would probably say, I struggle the most with the physical health. And it comes down to, Nina, that relationship part, right? So I've spent 2 decades healing all that to, have a healthy body weight. And when I say that, in my case, it was for medical reasons to have a healthy body weight, right? So it's that journey of being, for me, that journey of learning how to be loving to yourself. Just the conversation, like something you said earlier in the first segment, you said, would you say that to another person?
Yeah.
So when I hear myself going, saying anything, if something comes up, I always say, would you say this to your 8-year-old granddaughter?
Yeah.
Right? Because inside us is that inner child, inside us. And the answer, of course, would be no. Then why the hell would you say it to yourself?
Yes. So what you're practicing is self-compassion, right? That's such a big piece that I see women so skilled at with everybody else. They're compassionate, caring, understanding. But when it comes to themselves, it's all criticism. It's all judgment. It's all expectations, right? It's that, or it's, you know what? Talk to the hand. I don't want to deal with my body. I call that living next door to your body. Like, I guess I should feed her something because I got to keep rolling. I got a million things to do. Versus come, sit with me at the table. What do you want? What do you need, right? So body awareness is a lot about attunement to sensation. It's about curiosity leading. It's being also, and this is a very important concept, it's about being body current. So many of the women that I work with are talking about, I want that body that I had when I was 20, or 10 years ago I was this way, but then there was a health crisis and this happened. I just want to get back there. Or they're like, you know what, I have this wedding at the end of the summer and I really want to have this other body for them, right? For that experience, versus this is the body that I am in right now. This is the body that I'm in, and bodies change. And that's an especially important concept for those of us who are, well, it's all of us who are aging,
Yes.
right? Our bodies are changing. So, okay, that's a normal process of life. And aren't we lucky to be in a body that's aging, right? There's never been a time, to be more grateful for our ability to be here and to be getting older, right? Our mortality is right in front of our noses at this current time in our culture. So to be in this place of real relationship with your body now, right? So I'm talking about how do you be in relationship with your body, but not to the body that you had when you were a teenager, and not the idealized body of the future, but this body. What does this body need? And how do I trust that?
That's beautiful. And I guess it is self-compassion that I've come into in the last few years. And one of the other things is having a conversation, which you just referred to, having a conversation with the body and saying, what do you need? Do you really need that cup of coffee that you just automatically turn into? How about a green drink? And like kind of stopping the programmed cycle, like grab another cup of coffee and asking what it needs. And because I feel great when I have a green drink, right? But it's listening to what my body wants, not what my mind is on programmed to automatically do. So that was a big thing for me too.
Right. And what you're talking about, so interesting. We're touching on all these things. I also have another course called Body Listening Lab, right? What you're talking about is how do you be in this place of body listening? And it's much easier said than done, because there have been so many things that have interrupted our ability to listen to our own body. In fact, when I talk to women, they often say, I can tell you how my kids feel easier than I can tell you how I feel.
Ooh, big one.
Right? They're able to feel in, oh, my kid's tired. Oh, I can see they're cranky and hungry. But to bring that awareness and that listening to themselves, it requires some sort of some nuance and some finesse and some slowing down into honoring, like, oh, wait a second, what my body is saying is important. There is an incredible wisdom there. And that's a really important issue to look at, is that our body holds deep, deep wisdom, more powerful wisdom than somebody else's book about eating.
Oh, so true. It's almost like, don't turn outside ourselves, start turning inward. Get the support you need to learn how to turn inward.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I take it.
Yes.
This is such an important conversation. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I want to continue right here, because learning to listen, and I love that you have a course for that. Learning to listen to my body has been one of the most challenging, over the last 30 years, but the most valuable gift I've given myself. I'm not perfect, like all of us, I slide, but just learning to hear it was such a gift. So we'll be back in a moment with Nina Manolson of ninamanolson.com.
This is OTRFM, part of the IOM radio network.
Experience a homecoming to your heart. In the foreword of Dr. Deborah Riebel's new book, Being Love, How Loving Yourself Creates Ripples of Transformation in Your Relationships and the World, Marcy Shimoff shares, the answer to our inner longing isn't finding love, it's being love. The practices that Dr. Deborah presents in Being Love are keys to opening your heart and receiving your divine birthright as a physical manifestation of love. Her techniques, developed over years of successful private practice with her clients and from her extensive training in multiple disciplines, are accessible, compassionate, and effective. Her message is powerful, and if you allow it, will change your whole life. Order your copy of Being Love today at beinglovebook.com. and receive over 45 transformational gifts. Being Love is brought to you by Inspired Living Publishing.
OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Do you have time to read that inspiring book or that blog post you've been meaning to get to? In your busy world, how do you improve yourself and keep your life going? I'm Lisa Kay, and my Between Heaven and Earth radio show can transform your life just by listening. Be uplifted with inspiring topics, positive stories, and ideas that really work. Between Heaven and Earth Radio is conscious living for your soul, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Me, a cat, moving in with a new human. It took a little getting used to. She has these weird games she likes to play, like this giant feather. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. It's almost like she thinks I enjoy it. But seeing how much fun she gets out of it, well, I guess it makes it all worth it. Humans.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
This is OTRFM, part of the IOM radio network.
Welcome back, my friends. You're listening to Inspired Conversations. I'm your host, Linda Joy, and we're having a soul-nourishing conversation with body peace coach Nina Manolson. So, Nina, you're just talking about the importance of listening, right? Listening to the wisdom our body contains. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I had struggled with way back because I was disconnected from the conversation with my body, was I would just push through 50, let's say 2 decades ago, lots of sugar and carbs. Now, why do it doesn't matter what the food was, but for me, I was using it as a replacement to listening. It became like, well, I'll energize myself that way instead of listening to my body to say, well, maybe it needs something a little more nutritious.
Mm-hmm.
And my body kept trying to tell me.
Right.
It did. And it takes a cosmic 2x4 or a health check sometimes. And all I will say is I'm a very slow learner, so I received multiple cosmic 2x4s. Yeah. But I was 40 years old, not listening to my body, really disconnected. And for reference, it's October 2020, and I'll be 58 this month. So we're going back 18 years. I was really disconnected from my body. My intuition, and this is what I believe you're referring to as that body wisdom, my intuition knew I was on a path to crash. Mm-hmm. You know, 4 medium iced coffees a day with sweet and low in it, which was even worse. And mini stroke, told I had MS or lupus or advanced Lyme disease. Nina, it was none of that. It was me ignoring and not knowing how to hear my body. Mm-hmm. My soul knew to go inward and not do the medical intervention with all those diagnoses, which come to find out were wrong. That is what set me on my journey to learning to listen. But I didn't have someone like you out there, right, that could have paved the way and made it quicker. So I'm so grateful that you're here today, because women don't have to wait for the cosmic 2x4, the body crashing down on them, feeling so disconnected from their body. I don't want them to do what I did. I want them to experience all this, what you teach. Yeah. So do you find that too? A lot of your clients come to you after they were met with a cosmic 2x4?
For sure. And there's a couple of things that you said that are so important that I want to sort of take a yellow highlighter and highlight. And one is that what I call sort of the pacifier effect. Like, okay, I just need to keep rolling. So let me grab the coffee, or let me grab, the bagel. Let me just keep it rolling. I'm feeling a lot, and, I just have to survive. So let me get the chocolate, and let me get the whatever, the quick fix. Right? We're just trying to cope. We're just trying to survive. Right? And so that's where we stop vilifying the food choice and instead see it like, oh, I was just trying to cope. I was doing the best I can. But I was doing it from a place of just keep rolling versus slow down. What the heck do I need? Yeah. And that just keep rolling versus tuning into ourselves, we can also start blaming ourselves like, oh, I can't slow down. I'm not doing it right. But we were actually trained into the keep rolling model, right? That's a very common, like, just make it happen. Just go through your to-do list. And there are consequences, like you're saying, the 2x4, right? The cosmic 2x4 that says, wait a second, I actually need you to stop and be in relationship to me. And that 2x4 can show up in many different ways, right? Whether it's a physical illness, whether it's feeling, emotionally unstable, whether it's feeling like you have unwanted eating habits, right? Some people talk about, binging or restricting or late night nibbling, right? There's a lot of different, or just eating more than their body feels good with, right? There's all these unwanted eating habits that really are our cosmic 2x4s. Our body's saying, hello, I'm trying to get your attention. No, I'm really trying to get your attention. And we are doing the sort of little kid fingers in the ears going, la, 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 I can't hear you. I'm busy, right? And so it takes oh my gosh, I don't want to be living this way. I don't want to be feeling this way, in order for women to go, okay, let me get off this diet roller coaster. I see the diet culture for what it is. I've tried a gazillion diets. They are not working. I can't even imagine going on the next one. And yet I don't know how to be in a peaceful relationship with food and body where I feel like I'm taking care of myself, where I am tending to myself. And a client of mine once said, I feel like I missed this day at school, like how to actually listen. I'm like, you didn't miss it. It wasn't there. We never got it. We got listen for everybody else's needs, take care of everybody else, tune into the room at large. There wasn't, what is your body saying? You can trust that knowing. We did not get that information.
No, and that's why this conversation and the work you're doing in the world is so important, because especially as the young, if more younger people find you in your work, because they're the nurturers of the next generation of young women, right? And the same with me. I have an 8-year-old granddaughter and a 20-year-old grandson. And I even notice stuff like this in conversations with him. He's 6'3", long and lanky, and his friends, boys, who, like when I was growing up, we didn't have conversations with boys body judging. And I'm even noticing in his generation in males.
No, it's happening all genders, all ages, because it's literally the air we breathe, the water we swim in, is this culture of idealized beauty, right? This is what a perfect body looks like. This is what a perfect weight looks like. And we've all been conditioned to elevate that as though that's what we should strive for, versus individuality. Well, of course we have different size bodies. Of course we have different needs. Of course we have different ways of eating. There's a million diet books because that worked for somebody, right? Does it work for you? I don't know. There's your way of eating. There's your way of being in your body. There's your brand of beauty. It's a real cultural overhaul. And this body piece work that I'm doing, I'm finding it's really a movement away from misogyny, away from the patriarchal way that it views women. It's away from objectifying bodies. It's really about being authentically yourself and feeling good in your own skin.
What I want to say is that feeling good in your own skin is, no matter what the number on the scale means, is that your part of body piece that, and then from there they make healthy choices. If they have to bring their number down, like where does that come in for someone that may say, but I know I need to lose weight? How do you manage that story?
That's a great question.
Because some know they have to for medical reasons or whatever, or just to get healthy, period. There comes a point where you have to have both conversations at the same time, correct?
So a couple of things about that. One is this idea that we have to be thin to be healthy. There's an amazing movement called Health at Every Size. And the core concept in there is you can live in a very large body and be very healthy. You can live in a large body and be unhealthy and have lots of health issues. You can be in a small body and have a lot of health issues. You can be in a small body and have no health issues, right? So weight is not the determinant of health. I want to say that again. Weight is not the determinant of health. There's much more powerful metrics about your well-being than weight. So having said that, let's go for those metrics of well-being. Let's go for low blood pressure. Let's go for, feeling agile, being able to get off the ground to play with, up and down off the ground to play with grandchildren. Let's go for being able to take a long walk and not feel out of breath. Let's go for the things that are markers that tell us that we have vitality and energy and enthusiasm and great mental health, right? Mm-hmm. But when we have the only metric is I need to lose 30 pounds, we're stuck in a weird box that actually doesn't let us access all the resources that we have to truly care for ourselves. When we move out of the weight paradigm and into truly supporting our body size takes care of itself, right?
You know what I loved energetically as you were speaking and describing, like, the markers, the markers that we want to choose instead. it was such an energy in my body. I could feel it like, oh my God, if I move my body more. In other words, it gave me a completely different energetic focus, right? So I'm sure everyone else is feeling that, because that number on the scale, that is where the shame and judgment comes in. So this
Exactly.
is so powerful, because really what we're not looking for is to, and I'll recapture in my words what I believe you just shared, is it's not the size of the package. We're beautiful as we are. It's the vitality in which we live life. And yes, we are controlling, I don't even like the word control, like being more active, the low blood pressure. Those are markers that empower us, not devalue us.
Yes, what you just said is so important. They empower us, they don't diminish us. They empower us, they don't devalue us. They empower us, they don't shame us. So when many women and men feel like, okay, I really want to take care of myself, so now I'm gonna like feel bad about how I am, and then try to get better. Well, coming from that place of shame and blame, that is not a great launch point. That is not a great, trampoline to jump into a sense of vitality. If we use our base as I am actually supporting myself, I am nourishing myself, and my body as it is okay.
Yes.
Even if it's not what we want, even if we would like something different, even if we feel like, okay, if I was a smaller body, I would be more comfortable. Fine. Who's to say what you want? You get to want what you want. If you want to lose weight, then have that desire. But let's do something else. Like, let's do something that actually supports you. Because going for weight loss continues to put the locus of control outside of you. If I just hit that number, right?
Yeah.
That number gets to choose, oh, you're a good person, thumbs up. Oh, you're a bad person, thumbs down.
And that's
right?
what it feels like too. I mean, I didn't own a scale for 15 years because it was better that I didn't. And now it's not even a conscious thought for me anymore of, I need to get on that scale to figure out if my value.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
my value.
Exactly. And we're going to take our final break, Nina, because, and we'll come back for the last segment. I want to dive into this deeper. And then I would be honored. I want to make sure we leave time in the last segment because you write such beautiful body poems. So I'm going to ask you to read one, if you don't mind, in our final segment. So thank you, my friend. And we'll be back in a moment. I'm with Nina Manolson, Body Peace Coach. You can learn more at ninamanolson.com. We'll be right back.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
It's time to begin the adventure of a lifetime by nurturing the most important relationship you will ever have, the relationship with yourself. Kelly Grimes, self-nurturing expert, speaker, and author of the bestseller, The Art of Self-Nurturing, a field guide to living with more peace, joy, and meaning, shares that a self-nurturing practice is not about being perfect or completing another thing on your to-do list, but rather nurturing a relationship with yourself. In The Art of Self-Nurturing, you'll discover the inspiration, examples, reflective questions, and self-nurturing practices that will empower you to become the artist of your own life and see self-nurturing as an art form. Rather than living from obligation and overwhelm, you will learn to cultivate a life filled with self-compassion and self-love. Order your copy today at artofselfnurturingbook.com and receive the Self-Nurturing Starter Kit as a supportive gift.
OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Circle of Hearts Radio is a sanctuary on the airwaves. Join me, Grandmother Elia, in the circle on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern as I share information to both enlighten and nourish your soul.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
This is OTR FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Welcome back. You listen to Inspired Conversations. I'm so grateful that you're circling up with me and my special guest today, Nina Manolson. So Nina, isn't that, that whole scale thing, right? I realized decades ago, I had that unhealthy obsession. And now my value is not in that. And coming from my background and the restriction I had in my teens and 20s and probably maybe early 30s, that is like an internal shift that I never thought I would see, when I look back. And it's such a peaceful place to be. My value in, I like to say, like I always say, I love my body with all its divine imperfections. Mm-hmm. How I used to judge it, and I'm not saying I don't have days, but now when you say the words, I don't know, divine imperfection, there is nothing perfect in this world. Nothing, right? It's like I'm perfectly the way I am. And I have this more loving relationship. But the value part about that down scale shifted everything for me.
Right. So that scale becomes a way to value ourselves based on something outside of ourselves. So to bring that conversation into our body, how do I feel? How does this food make me feel? How do these people make me feel? Right? What is my internal experience? And it really takes the power back. And this is where I feel like this work gets into a really feminist model in terms of, you know what? The external culture, the diet culture, the media, the patriarchy has had way too much say over women's bodies. And the scale is another way that it continues that external dialogue. So part of healing our relationship with our food and body is to tell that whole structure that gets in, this is how women should look. This is what an ideal body type is. This is what is, back it up. And one of the ways we can do that is say, you know what? That scale does not get to determine my worth. I get to decide how I feel internally. It's my relationship with my body. I have the authority here. And that's very different than I am trying to be in control, right? When we are the author, we have the authority to create the relationship we want with our body. That gives us incredible power and strength to be on our own side, to be our own body ally.
And just the feel of it, like even feeling the power in your statement, I could feel it in my body. Mm-hmm. It's a whole way of navigating life, of being.
Yeah.
And that's what we're searching for. I believe that, well, I don't want to say searching for, that's what's missing.
It's totally missing. And that's honestly, I feel like my job, is really being an ally for women's bodies when our body has been neglected for whatever reason, when we've divorced our body for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I love, because I know you're a warrior about this, right?
Yeah.
That's why I love you. That's why I love your message. That's why I was so excited. We connected recently, had a private conversation, and then said, oh my God, I got to get Nina on this show. Mm-hmm. So ladies, I want to really invite you, please learn about Nina's programs at ninamanolson.com. And we have a few moments still. So Nina, take a moment just to name some of the programs so they get an idea what you offer, and then I'll make sure there's time to read one of those poems, my friend.
Oh, thank you. That's very gracious. So the programs that I invite women into are the Body Listening Lab, the Compassionate Eating Course, and the Body Peace Path. Those are the primary three. There's some other ones, but those are the big three. There's also, those are like live in-person, coaching with me courses. There's also shorter video course on my website, which is Shifting into Body Love, which really dives more deeply into the different realms of relationship we have with our body.
It's beautiful. I invite everyone. It's NinaManolson.com. So in our last few moments, Nina, I invite you to share one of your beautiful poems. A beautiful way to end this sacred conversation and to inspire women just to take the words in. So listeners, whether you're joining us live right now or on the replay on one of the many podcast platforms, I want you to just take a moment and drop into your body and be fully present as Nina's words reach you. Nina, here.
So this poem, I chose this poem because we just spoke about this desire to jump into body love, right? To just jump over the relationship part and also the deep desire. I just want to love my body. So this poem is called Loving Your Body is Too Hard. I tried. I really tried hard. Every day I would stand in front of the mirror and affirm, I love my body, I love my shape, I love myself. I channeled my inner Louise Hay. I wanted to be that person who loved herself, loved her curves, even loved her thighs. It didn't help. I still heard that mean mirror voice, laughing, mocking, cutting at me in her disbelief of my body love. Loving your body is too hard. It was too hard for me, too big a leap, too far to go from being indoctrinated by diet culture, by an industry making money from my shame. Body love was only for the thin. If I was anything but thin, body love was settling. Body love was giving up. So I gave up on body love. I settled on a body relationship, a real relationship full of hate and anger, so much grief. A relationship riddled with annoyance, impatience, and snarkiness. And the longer I hung out in this real relationship, I found something started to shift. New experiences started to merge. True appreciation, actual body peace, moments of ease. And then there it was, like a gem glistening amidst a mountain of rocks. Some love for myself, some actual body love in the midst of the mess of relationship, the reality of everyday feelings. There she was, sparkling. Appreciation, compassion, caring, support for myself. Body love. Body love is too hard. It's too big a stretch. Let's start with being in a real messy relationship. Start there and see what gets uncovered.
Oh my God. I just love your poems. They just speak to a woman's soul, truth, and I can just feel the depth of meaning as you speak. So I want to thank you, not just for being here today, but for being a warrior for women. To be out there saying, this has got to end. We have to end the cycle now, and that's such a gift to the world, Nina. So thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Today. And right back at you for all of the amazing work that you do, truly.
Thank you, my friend. And I want to invite everyone, go to NinaManolson.com to learn about the Body Peace Path, Body Listening Lab, and everything else that she is up to. Take advantage of her wisdom, her years of experience. Again, that's NinaManolson.com. Until next time, my friends, choose love, choose joy, choose happiness. Blessings, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy. Join our sacred space every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern and meet leading female visionaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. Inspired Conversations with Linda Joy is a soulful venue where guests share the obstacles they've overcome, along with wisdom and lessons learned on their personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic and soulful living.